I'm recording this event, let's say so, because it's very important for us. So hello, dear colleagues and dear students, and dear Rasa, hello. And as you all know, today we are here because of the circular economy, and we are here 3 schools, 3 countries that are working on the Erasmus Plus project, which is called Creation and Integration of STEAM Model in General Education, which is very important for us. And my name is Ernesta, and I'm a coordinator of this project here in Lithuania, but we also have 2 more coordinators, José, a teacher of Portuguese team. Hello, José.
Hello.
Yeah. And Celine, a coordinator of Turkish team. Hello, Celine.
Hello, everyone.
But of course, the most important person here in this meeting is our special guest. Her name is Rasa Tumaševičiūtė, and Rasa is a scientist that is working in such fields as biomedicine, environment, and of course, circular economy. And today, Rasa will lead this online meeting, this event, and she will tell us a little bit about the main aspects of circular economy, which again is very important for us because it's one of the activities of this project. So I hope we all will have a great time. We all will enjoy it. And now, Rasa, it's your turn. Thank you very much for joining us, and this is your word.
Okay. Hello, guys. Do you hear me? It's everything all right? I guess it's all right. I want to start about a short story about myself. I just want to explain you what I'm actually doing, because when you're telling circular economy futurist, no one understands. It's like something from where do you go? And it's a short story. Life has been on Earth for more than 3.8 billion years, and in that time, life has learned what works and what is appropriate and what lasts here. And the idea is that perhaps we should be looking at these mentors and these biological elders. They have figured out how to create a sustainable world. So rather than inventing it from scratch, why don't we take our cues from them? Probably that the best ideas might not be ours. So how many of you have bought for at least one of packaged product this week? Any kind of plastic yesterday or today? Can you put your hands just to show me if you did it? Yeah, okay. And probably most of us are buying plastic packaged food every day. So that tells us that we have already know, and that's that plastic is omnipresent in our lives. It's everywhere, but we have problems not only with plastic. Organic waste is the 3rd man-made contributor to greenhouse gas emissions and climate change. And in addition, almost a 1/3 of all plastic that is consumed each year goes unrecycled and ends up in landfills or our environment. So in my work, I seek to solve both organic waste and plastic packaging waste problems by taking organic waste and through a proprietary biorefining process, convert them into a cost-competitive and compostable bioplastic. To solve those problems and to create change, collaboration is required. And you should imagine yourself a world free of waste, a world without waste, a world where products keep their value, a world where you can use your crops for food, and a world where fossil fuels are unnecessary, a world harmless to environment. So what an amazing world it will be. But it's not only about waste. The main goal is to create a sustainable society. This is why probably I'm talking about circular economy, because it's a way to create a sustainable society. At first, I want to explain you a bit about sustainability and what be the role of the circular economy in the story of sustainability and transition, which we have to make. Population growth. We got used to figure 9.7 billion, and we are actually fine with that because it will happen. In other words, it means that on the planet you have in 1 year additional Germany population, in 4 years additional United States of America population, and a little bit more than 10 days additional population of Lithuania. So it's quite fast. And this is how the things are going. All of that is happening in developed part of the world. They have the same aspiration as we do, living well, and they have all the right to do that. Just imagine if they would somehow repeat the economic model which we have developed and developed in the way like we are. Where would we be? It's a pretty critical moment, and if we are half sincere in delivering the sustainable development goals, we have to be really serious in the transformations which we are talking about. So when we talk about consumption, it's getting up. And when it comes to social issues, a few people in the same or more than half of the poorest population of the world. And 1% is richer than the last 99. 800 million people are hungry, over 2 billion suffer from micronutrient deficiencies, over 2 billion people are obese. So let them have population, it's, if I would tell, they are normal. Rest of them are not. That means that something is not really good. So we throw away 1/3 of the food we produce. What that means? That means that we are throwing away 1/3 of the land, 1/3 of the energy, 1/3 of pesticides, 1/3 of everything what we are using to produce it. And when we're talking about sustainability problems, it's also connected with urbanization and with rapid cities growing. Half of the cities which will exist in 2050 have not yet been built. And as you can see, it's just moving up right now. And I don't know if we will be ready to build it up. And China has used only per 2 years, when they have like a huge economic increase, they used more cement than USA in the whole 20th century. So we should imagine that everything moves really fast right now, and we are using resources in a really fast way. And now a short story about environment. We all know that climate change experts warn us that the emissions need to be halved by 2030. Then we will have a chance to stay below or inside 1.5 degrees. 60% of ecosystems are already degraded or used unsustainably. Biodiversity, according to Living Planet Index, we have lost in the last 40 years 60% of all living diversity on our planet. And because of the of that, we are losing also biomass of the mammals living in the nature. And it has been reduced in recent decades for 84%. It's a huge numbers. 1/3 of soils is degraded or used unsustainably due to various reasons. Actually, it could be even a bad agriculture. 7 million people are dying prematurely due to air pollution, which is approximately half of the million in Europe. That's something like 20 times more than in car accidents. And you know, we are not giving enough attention to that problem. 1 million of plastic bottles about every minute globally. And 9% of plastic is recycled, 12% incinerated, and almost 80% just ending up somewhere in our environment. What is also important is to talk about microplastic. If you're drinking only bottled water, you will get 130,000 plastic particles per year from that source, only from that source alone, compared from 4,000 from tap water. And finally, we are the one of the first generations more likely to die as a result of lifestyle choices than infection disease, what actually COVID showed. As you can see, here is our economy system and the world, how it looked before. And there's one thing which you should remember, and that's probably one of the most important things which you need to keep in your head. I am already from second generation ever on the planet, which is living in socio-ecological space of planetary scope. My parents were first. Your great-grandfather was still using a horse to travel from village to nearest town, 20 or 30 or even more kilometers away. And now we are all interconnected, interdependent, what means that our individual and collective responsibility for the future has enormously increased, and also the challenges that we are facing are totally different than the challenges people which were living on the planet before we were facing. The Club of Rome summarized that we moved from empty world, which was dominated by nature, to a full world, which is dominated by humans. In the empty world, it was labor and infrastructure, which was the limiting factor of human well-being. In the full world, the limiting factors are natural resources and environmental things. It's a limiting factor of our well-being. And as you can see, here's a couple of pictures. Here on your left is a picture of circular economy. In the middle, you can see some kind of climate change. And on the right side, you can see some kind of pollution. And what is important in circular economy concept is to understand how system works. I really like to use approach from scientific side, and it's some kind of approach that means drivers before pressures, states, and impacts. So you can see that on scheme. When we talk about climate or biodiversity loss or pollution, we actually choose to talk about impact and states. So we are talking about results of something. But if you want to deal with those questions, it's essential that you will go to drivers and pressures. And you should do this immediately. When you say drivers and pressures, you basically say humans and human activity or economics. Because it's a way how we have organized ourselves to provide some meaning for the living. Circular economy is building the bridge between economics and the essence of the problems which need to be addressed and changed, and the consequences which we are normally addressing in our policies. It's also really important, right policies. Now we have a European Green Deal, we have a renewed circular plastic packaging and circular economy. Now we will have another one, again, a renewed circular economy package. So it's important, but it's also really important that circular economy policies are different all around the world. And we have to find a way how to create one, because planet is one. And okay, it's a bit about circularity, maybe a little bit pessimistic. But let's go back to current linear economy, and I will tell you another story. We're living in a market economies. Producers and consumers are on market, and we behave apparently rationally. Even to be frank, this is the most rational assumption. The quantities on the markets are decided by prices, which are the signals which we send to the market. The signals are production, financial capital, and they are overvalued, as you can see, and also over-reward. Human capital in our system is undervalued and underrewarded, and natural capital is obviously not valued at all. So if you have that kind of signals which you are sending to the market, who can actually in a responsible mind expect that we will have social, economic, and environmental balance? Until situation will exist like it is, we will have exactly the same situation as we have right now. The biggest problem is not valued natural capital, and it creates environmental externalities. No consumers, no producers, they're not paying at all. Our health system pays for that, and in the majority of the cases, it will be paid by the next generations. So by your kids or by my kids. But those problems exist. And this is why we need a circular economy. Everyone starts to talk about circularity and to talk about sustainable development goals because it's connected. So if you will look to sustainable development goals, 12 of them are directly connected to resources. That means to circular economy. All the goals could be achieved through sustainable consumption and production. If you want to eradicate poverty, if you want to reach zero hunger, if you want to put people in a good health, and if you want to go climate action, it's impossible without fundamentally changing the way we produce and consume. It's an essential part of the story. It's how we actually regenerate well-being, which we are creating, which is completely possible. It is a major development opportunity if you see it with open heart and with open mind. And the concept of circular economy finds its roots in environmental and ecological economics, industrial ecology, management, and corporate sustainability literature. In today, it's hyped by policymakers, academia, and businesses as a concept to enable sustainable development. A circular economy can be defined as an economic system that is based on business models which replace the end-of-life concept with reducing, alternatively reusing, recycling, and recovering materials in production, distribution, and consumption processes. Thus separating at the micro level, like products, companies, or consumers, meso level, like eco-industrial parks, and macro level, city, region, nation, and beyond. This is the reason why you had levels on your homework. And yeah, so as you can see, we used to live in linear economy. Now we have a recycling economy, and we are seeking for a circular economy. So major systemic transformations such as a transition to a circular economy call for a long-term vision and challenge current our mindsets. Firms, governments, and other organizations need to anticipate future developments in order to prepare for them and the many barriers to be overcome. While it is relatively easy to accommodate short-term linear changes, longer-term shifts in socio-technical systems and the impacts of technological disruptions are more difficult to cope with. Circular economy emulates nature. With the biosphere, nature offers the most perfect existing cycle. An endless succession of biomass builds up through photosynthesis and degradation, through foraging and digestion processes, and enables a no-waste system. Circular economy is really similar to natural systems because it tries to mimic it. Waste does not exist in nature because each organism contributes to the health of the whole. Once one organism's waste becomes food for another, Nutrients flow perpetually in a regenerative, cradle-to-cradle cycles of birth, decay, and rebirth. And waste equals food, and there's no waste. Not like in our planet, because not like in the human world, because we have a waste. Like in nature, there is no waste. Everything is food. A circular economy is a restorative and regenerative system of closed loops in which raw materials and products circulate eternally, eliminating wastage, as if mimicking the circularity of elements in a natural ecosystem, such as forest as illustrated and figured. It also depends on renewable energy sources such as sunlight and wind instead of fossil fuels. Such a system is the key to achieve sustainability. Nature inspires the concept of circular economy, where resources are valued the most. Every element of nature is continuously in use by turning waste into resources repeatedly, using principles such as reduction, reuse, and recycle. Products and services are also evaluated for their environmental impact at all stages of life cycle. Such an assessment is important to reduce their harmful effects on nature. This calls for innovation of new composite materials that are biodegradable and can be recycled. Circular economy and sustainability should inspire innovations, which are necessary solutions to improve the current waste recycling rates, mine resources from the waste consuming fewer resources in the process, which consequently minimizes the damage on the environment and human health. So there is an investigation because I see only like a half of the screen, and I want you to write a product which you want to check. Okay, trying to see where is a chat. I can see a chat. Okay, now I can see it. So someone, what do you want to examine? What do you use every day? Do you have any ideas? What do you want to know? Because all of you should watch the movie about fonts, and it's a really good illustration about circular economy, and a really good illustration about products and system which in which we are currently living. So basically, you can do the same. Okay, more I can see. Yes, chat. Okay. No, fun is not interesting at all. Wait, no. It was your job, not mine. So yeah, battery. Okay. When we're talking about batteries, what do we need to produce them? We need some kind of resources, some kind of chemicals. We need energy to take them from the Earth's surface. And after that, if you want to produce battery, you need some kind of chemical industry. That means you need a manufacturing, a whole manufacturing process, and then also using distribution or recycling, like everything a lot. Probably you can write also as well the different cycles of battery. Maybe someone want to share their thoughts? Guys, talk with me. It's pretty hard. Yeah, no, it's way easier, to talk when you have like a real touch. Then you are trying to speak with me, but right now it's a little bit harder. So okay, about battery, you also heard in that movie. And it's quite cool. And as you can see here, it's a different nature of materials. We should understand one thing, that we have natural materials, artificial materials, and composite or combined materials. As you can see, it's like a paper, cardboard here, some kind of organics. We have metals, and as well we have plastic, which is completely unnatural in our life and in our planet. So basically we have unnatural products and unnatural things which we should take out, or just to find way how to deal with them, not just to put them into environment, because now we are doing this mostly. It's like 80%, almost 80% end up in landfills. It's a huge amount. So okay, and if you want to learn a little bit more about this, you should go every, I don't know, once per week, just to pick up one thing, for example, a tooth brusher, and just to think how it was made and how it will be recycled. And just to pick up one thing every week, and then after that you will know almost everything, because you will understand by yourself how system works and how everything is made. Okay. Oh, it doesn't work. It stopped. Oh yeah. And lifestyle choices can help to reduce emissions. As you can see, it's like a high-tech solutions, like low-carbon homes, different mobility habits. We have them, and it's quite visible here in Vilnius, because we used to use bikes, and right now as well some kind of scooters, and that's all. It's way better than cars. As well, really important is sustainable consumption. It depends on what will you use, how will you use, more sustainable diets, and you can make a difference in organization or society. So you can influence opinion. If you don't like something, you just, I don't know, you just can write to some kind of markets or producers or manufacturers, just, I don't like your packaging, please change up this, I want to have a more sustainable. It's our it's our voice. We should do that, because if you want to change something, it's only one way. And in circular economy, if you want to create a real circular economy, you should tell how it will look alike. And for sure, focus on solutions and the positive outcomes of change. No one likes to change. It was really crazy times right now. Like for those months, it was a huge change. But we had some cool things, like drop in emissions. It's the same with circular economy. No one wants to change, but if you will see only positive things, like there will be no waste, everything will be resourced, like in nature, then you will not feel that fear of change. So if you want to learn more, there is also in a systematic scale like plenty of works about circular cities in a different areas. Actually, I really like Amsterdam. It's the donut city, because they're already using a different economic system like rest of the world, and they implemented that only this year, only a couple of months ago. And it's really interesting to just to watch how it will go. And as well, we have Ljubljana. They have amazing waste treatment system. Paris, South Korea, and it's different things. It's a different parts of circular economy, but they also can be connected in some ways. And we're just right now we're like trying to implement circularity in a smaller scale, and then it will go up. So I recommend just to check, because they have really nice ideas. Maybe you start your own business, just after read them. And if you want to explore more solutions about cities, energy, food, planet, and population as well, Then it's overshoot day. They also have a really nice calculator where you can calculate your footprint. So then you will know more if you have to consume less, or if you have to use, for example, more bike, and so on. So what can you do right now? Just right now. Not tomorrow, not after 1 week, but right now. Just simplify your thoughts, refuse single use. It's everything that you use once and just put to the trash. Bring your off reusables, and then eat locally, like eat local food. Don't forget to compost. If you don't have a place where to compost, just try to find a community garden. It's also a really amazing thing. And buy better, recycle well, uh, use your voice, and support local community. Just participate inside your community. It's one of the ways how we can make impact. So tomorrow depends on you, like every time. And just focus on solutions and positive outcomes of change, and become a sustainability leader. And start right now, not tomorrow. Start right now. Start from today. Actually, I wanted to ask about task, but I see that it's only 4 minutes left. Is it correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so it was really fast, like 40 minutes already. Okay, actually, guys, I'm waiting. If you did the task, I'm waiting for your answers. I'm really interested. What did you do? Because a couple of hours ago, I also did a bit. I did this. It was quite funny. I chose elephant because he can. Redistribute everything inside nature. So it's like putting partnerships to work. It was social ecosystems repair phone parts, like parts manufacturer, product manufacturer, and service provider. Parts manufacturer and service provider are connected between, and product manufacturer are connected with user, and user are always sending information what he likes and what he don't like, what is getting damaged, and what we should change. So it doesn't work right now in system. It doesn't work on that way. And this is what elephant showed me. Elephant and some kind of muscle level of systemic change. And it's like a local value chain. So that's all. I tried to finish it up. It was so fast.
Okay.
2 minutes.
Yes, thank you, Rasa, very much. Dear colleagues and students, maybe you have any questions now, or you would like to share your ideas. I understand that the topic is really quite difficult, but again, I think that after this session, maybe it will be much easier to work on this topic individually at our schools. But again, if you have any ideas or questions to our lecturer, Rasa, so please, you are welcomed to ask right now, since we have 2 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, it moved so fast, like crazy. It's extremely fast.
No questions.
So no one did homework.
Okay, just raise
No
your
one.
hands if you did. Okay,
Okay, I see.
Lina, Vainius, great. Who else?
So where's the problem? What did you choose?
Ida.
Can you share? Can you share your
So,
thoughts?
well, I really liked that video about iPhones.
Yes.
It was a very good illustration, like what we need to produce one thing that we use daily, and it was I liked it a lot, and it I think helped a lot of people to realize that we are, using a lot of things more than just iPhone or Samsung or
Yes. Yeah, that was really very good film. Okay, if we do not have any questions, so it's time to say thank you, Rasa, very much.
Thank you.
Yes,
I
maybe
hope
we'll.
it was helpful.
Yes, I hope so too, and it really was. Just we need to rethink it once again and to watch this film once again because we've recorded it. So thank you again, everyone. Thank you for joining us today, and maybe see you next time on some other activities. Okay, so bye for now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.